Hi, this video is about my first ever 72-hour water fast. This is part 2 of a 4-part series, so if you haven't checked out part 1, check that first because that's the introduction and the preparation into going into this. And part 2 today in this video is about my day-to-day experience of it. Part 3 is going to be deep diving into the spiritual side of going through a water fast, and then part 4 is my reflections and going forward for next time. So let's dive in. Hi, welcome back to A Spiritual Life with me, Carrie. I'm a mindfulness teacher, a homemade mum of 2 on a non-religious spiritual path. I'm passionate about helping parents learn a practical approach to spirituality to improve family connections and live a more meaningful and conscious life. I'm all about commitment within the spiritual community, this non-religious spiritual community, and when we have commitment, we can have connection with each other and therefore we get community. That's what I'm all about here. So this video then, part 2, is all about my day-to-day experience of doing this first ever for me 72-hour water fast. So the last video I talked about the introduction and the preparation side of it. Now we're going to move into my day-to-day experience. So I kind of tried to afterwards split it into sections of like mentally, physically. I didn't really touch on emotions, but I think when I journal next time I will try and hone in on those areas. So I was supposed to start on Monday with the group, with Dr Mindy Pelz's group. It was supposed to start on the Monday. So as I said in the last video, you sort of do intermittent fasting leading up to doing this. So I'd eaten actually later than I would normally on the Sunday. It was about 7 o'clock on Sunday night when I last ate. So when I came to break my fast on the Monday, and I was supposed to start the intermittent fast, start the actual 72-hour fast at 4 o'clock or something, no, 7 o'clock or something on the Monday. I came to break my fast on the Monday day and I was like, I'm actually not hungry. I don't want to break my fast. And I felt like I was needing to. So I just was like, maybe I just start it from Sunday then. And I've already gained a few hours. So, and I didn't even have the monitor that I mentioned in the previous video, the glucose monitor. I didn't even have it. It was coming on the Monday. So I didn't have my readings done prior to starting it because I decided to start it and go from the Sunday at 7 o'clock. So I was already sort of 24 hours in before I took my first reading. So I ended up starting it Sunday through to the Wednesday. My circumstances during that time, as I've said, I home educate the girls, so we just chose to spend some time at home on those days and just do lighter duties, lighter activities and things, so nothing too taxing. Okay, so day one. Day one, hunger-wise, it wasn't too bad in the day. Like I say, I'm used to doing the intermittent fasting now, so daytime it was all right, kept busy and we went for a walk. By the night time though, the hunger started to creep up and I've missed something out there. Yeah, the hunger started to creep up and I think I got a headache. Yeah, that's more physical. So the hunger increased as the day went on. It's more into night time. Physically, I started to get a little bit of lower back pain. I have some little niggles in those areas and that sort of heightened by the evening of the first day, and I started getting a headache before bed as well. Mentally, as the day went on, I had reduced concentration, so it started to, get a bit brain foggy, and the symptoms eased. All of the symptoms eased. Every time I drank some green tea, I had some water and I had some Celtic salt with the water. So that actually helped. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it was all right. You know, if it's just hunger, I just went for the water and the green tea and the salt, and it eased really. And monitoring, like I say, my monitor only came on Monday tea time, so I was 24 hours in and I was at 4.2 millimoles, so that was good. Day 2, sleep was a bit disturbed, I must admit, but not too bad, nothing too major. And physically wise, I woke up feeling nauseous and a bit shaky, and that was at 35 hours. And some headaches throughout the day, but on and off, nothing too major. Hunger, there was waves throughout the day, so you think, you know, you're not eating, you're just going to be in a constant state of hunger. It's not like that, it is waves. Mentally, and just another disclaimer here, everybody's different, everyone's going to have that different, and it does depend quite massively on what you've eaten prior as well. Mentally, so the reduced concentration continued on day 2, and then also in mentally, the mental side of it, my voice is going to me. I'll be in the middle of doing something and my voice will be saying, oh, I'll go make something to eat in a minute after I've done this, and then remembering, oh, I can't. So yeah, you kind of forget you're doing it, and then because I'm used to just eating when I'm hungry as opposed to eating for the sake of it or eating by the clock. It was the hardest day. Day 2 was definitely the hardest day. Mindy said this in her videos, and she went on to say day 3 is really good, and I was like, yeah, right. But we'll get onto that. But yeah, it's definitely the hardest day physically and mentally. You've got the voices talking to you, saying to eat. You know, it wasn't too bad because you know, I had to do this. I did this before. I don't know where I mentioned this, but I guess I was sort of apprehensive going into this because here's another disclaimer. I wouldn't say I had an eating disorder when I was younger, but I had issues with food, let's put it that way. So I was used to not eating for long periods when I was younger, and because of that, as an adult, I never actually went and did a diet as such because I was scared I'd go back there. So I was a bit apprehensive to start this, thinking, could it trigger something off? So, you know, warning here, if that's you, you know, use your own discernment, speak to your health professional, or just don't do it. Just stick with the intermittent fasting. You know, just, you've got to do what's right for you. I'll come on to how I felt. I think I cover that in the third part. But it wasn't all bad. Like it didn't trigger anything for me, actually. I'll come on to that in part 3 more when I talk about the spiritual side of stuff. So on day 2, on the evening, I just had a magnesium salt bath and I went to bed early. That's another thing she said. Just, you know, if you're really struggling, rest, have a nap, go for a walk, take your mind off it. You know, it's when the voices are just there all the time. So monitoring wise, at 36 hours I was at 3.5 millimoles, 41 hours I was at 3.8, and 49 hours at 3.7. So remember, 2.8 is what we're looking to not go below, so I was good in there. And like I say, the symptoms eased after I had the green tea, the water and the Celtic salt. So day 3, glorious day 3. If you can get this far, try it out for yourself, because she is right. Dr Mindy Pelz is right. Day 3 of this 3-day water fast was amazing. So in the morning I woke feeling good, no headache, no nausea. Limbs felt a little heavy after walking downstairs, but again, I was okay after having my green tea, my water and my Celtic salt. By 12 o'clock there was no headache, still no hunger on day 3. And this is a sign the ketones are kicking in. So again, I had no monitor, remember. I didn't have the strips for the ketones or a monitor for the ketones, but it is a sign that when the hunger isn't really there, that you're producing the ketones. But I can't say for sure that I was in ketosis or not. There was no dizziness or no heavy legs, any of that stuff on day 3. And it's the best I've ever felt in such a long time. Such a long time. There's no brain fog. There's clarity. You know, I'm at an age now where the brain fog's quite prevalent, and there was none of that, you know. I think I might mention this in the next video as well, but yeah, I mean, I just felt so much happier. And even a video call with my hubby that day is like, you know, after just not even speaking for very long, the aura, it must have just been, you know, you look different, what's going on? I was like, it's day 3 of this water fast. So yeah, best I've felt in a long time. My monitor readings at 61 hours now are at 3.2, so it's starting to get a bit low. At 65 hours it was back up to 3.8, and at 72 hours I was at 3.8. So then I reintroduced the food, and like I said in the first part, I didn't have all the right foods in, so make sure you have that. So here's what I did have in and what I did have. So at 7 o'clock, when my fast was broken, I took my reading, at 72 hours it was 3.8. So it's veg broth because I'm vegan, so I had a veggie broth, and all I had in was carrots and parsnips, which isn't the best, is it? Because it's really sweet veggies, really sweet carbs. And so you're supposed to have like half a cup of this veggie broth. Apparently I haven't got her book yet, the Eat Like a Girl, with all the recipes in, and apparently in there's a mushroom broth, so I'll need that recipe. But yeah, with a broth of carrots and parsnips, it's supposed to be half a cup. I took like a sip and I was like, that is so sweet, I'm gonna spike, and I was just really nervous about spiking. So I took 2 sips and I was like, that's it, I can't have any more. So just two mouthfuls, as it was too sweet, and I was worried I would spike. So at 8 o'clock, this is at 8 p.m, you're supposed to have, what was it, a probiotic rich meal. And again, I didn't have the like sauerkraut. I meant to get some and I completely forgot to get it. So I ended up with having a yogurt which had some of those prebiotic stuff in it, and an avocado. And then after that my reading was 4. And then at 9 o'clock, so these stages of reintroducing your food are every hour. Before the next meal, it was at 6.5. So an hour later, after my yogurt, I got up to 6.5. And the next meal is steamed veggies with olive oil and the salt. And I really enjoyed them. But after having not eaten for very much, I was like already full at that point. So that was 9 o'clock. And then at 10 o'clock, my reading was 7.2. So it's creeping up, but still within ranges. And you're supposed to have, at this point, a protein-rich meal, less than 20 grams of protein. I was full, and I didn't really want to eat a big meal at 10 o'clock after being 3 days without food, so I skipped that bit. And when I broke my fast the next morning, I made sure that was protein. So that is basically the mental and physical aspects of the day-by-day experience that I had over the 3 days. The next video is all about the spiritual side of stuff, so check that one out. See you over there. Much love. Bye for now.